Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Happy New Year. Today's video is going to be why I think you should start running. And we're going to cover everything that I've learned over the last 9 months. I started during the last lockdown in March, and I ran every day for 30 days. And now it's a habit that I just couldn't live without. Like, I run at least 5 times a week and I feel amazing, mentally and physically. And now there's another lockdown in the UK. Most of the gyms are closed, so I'm going to go through a load of different tips on how you guys can start running if you've never ran before, or how you can progress your running if you're already kind of a little bit of a runner. Like me, I'm probably intermediate, but I'm going to give you some tips on how you can get better. Okay, so I've prepared some notes on my phone. It's going to help me deliver my points a lot more efficiently and a lot more faster. So, how to start running if you've never run before. This depends totally on your current fitness level. It's going to be different for everyone. But if you've never ran before, or you haven't ran for 10, 15 years, like me, I hadn't ran for 10 years since I last played football when I was 16. So for me, I had pretty much no experience. I was starting again from fresh. Even when I did play football, I was lazy and I used to hate running. So to start with, I recommend finding a good flat area, whether that be around the block, on a running track, or around a field. It's probably best if you know the area so you're not going to get lost. To begin with, I would try running for 30 minutes. If you can't run for 30 minutes, then you need to really slow down your pace. This is hard to do initially. Everyone struggles finding their pace initially, but once you find it, you'll get a sweet spot and it shouldn't be a problem anymore. If you find you need to stop, that's fine. Just stop for a minute, use a timer on your phone or your watch, and then go again. And you can do this as many times as you need to. Even if you run for a minute, stop for a minute, run for a minute and stop. But what I mean by stopping is not stopping completely and on your hands and knees, taking big breaths like that, that's exaggerated. But I mean, just stop jogging and just walk, and make sure you're keeping the momentum going, otherwise you'll find it difficult to get going again. Once you're eventually able to run for 30 minutes without stopping, I suggest you try running a distance of 5k. This might take longer than 30 minutes and that's fine. If you need to take a break, don't worry, stop for a minute and then continue. But again, it's all about pacing yourself in the beginning and going slower rather than faster. Right, so to track your distance, there's numerous free apps that you can get on your phone or on your smartwatch. My favorite is Strava. And also, don't feel entitled to post your time on Instagram or anything like that, and don't feel embarrassed about your time. Everyone starts somewhere, and at this stage there's absolutely no need to worry about your time whatsoever. From here, I would then work on trying to get your 5k time down to around 30 minutes. This is a nice steady pace and shouldn't push you too hard, and something that once your fitness is up there, you can probably do it every day. I chose to run every day because I wanted to create a new habit, so it's something that I knew I wanted to do every day no matter what, and eventually do like for the rest of my life, hopefully. That's the way it's been going so far. I recommend for you guys to run every other day, or to try if you can, 5 times a week. That way you're gonna build the fitness better, faster, and you're gonna start enjoying it sooner rather than later. Because if you run once a week, you're not gonna make much progress, to be honest. Once you can run 5k in 30 minutes, then I would start trying to get your time even faster. You'll really start to enjoy the process even more. You'll feel better mentally, you'll feel better physically, and you'll start to really enjoy it. That's when I did anyway. If you're going to do a fast run, make sure you have a slower run the day before or a rest day, and again after the fast run. You don't want to tire your body out, you don't want to overwork it, because that's when you start getting injuries like shin splits and stuff like that. But I'll cover that in the next part of the video. Oh, there's the camera. Okay guys, so if you're already an intermediate runner like me, someone who runs a few times a week or every other day like I do, then you need to start progressing in some way, whether that be increasing the distance or decreasing the time it takes you to run X amount of miles or kilometers. So yeah, you can choose, like I could choose to try and get my 5k time down to 18 minutes, that's increasing the speed, or I could work on trying to run a half marathon every week, every other week. And yeah, so it's you either progress with speed or distance. I don't really think you progress at both. You have to choose one of them to focus on. I have no experience at that. For me, I just like running every day. It's another bow to my arrow for my heart health, my lungs, my mental health, and it makes me feel good. I want to focus on building muscle again in the gym, like what I used to do before lockdown happened. And for me, running is just an added bonus. What I've been doing when it comes to programming is watching my heart rate. I've been following a thing called the math method, and that's where you run at a certain heart rate throughout the course of the run. So keeping the heart rate level, and then you look at your average heart rate at the end of the run, and it should be where you want it to be. And what that does is that allows you to run every day without overloading the body, without overworking your body, without any injury, and that's what works best for me. But see you in the next place. Okay, we'll jog on the spot for this one. Okay, so the math method, very, very simple. You basically run within a heart rate zone. So for me, it's 153. To work out yours, you do 180 minus your age. And then if you go on the math method website, there's a load of different variables. So say you're coming back from injury, you add +5 or -10 or whatever. Have a look on the math method website, it explains it all there. But for me, when I was doing the math method, it feels like I really have to hold myself back. Like I'm running a lot slower than I would even want to be. And it kind of feels weird to begin with. But again, for me, I would just have my Apple Watch on and I'd be constantly checking my heart rate to make sure I'm working within that zone. And if I do go slightly above when I'm going up a hill, that's fine. As long as I bring it right back down, it's okay. Because it's, at the end of the day, it's the average heart rate for the end of the run. When you run at this pace, math method pace, you feel like you can literally run forever. I was going out to do 5Ks and ended up doing 10Ks because I felt so comfortable running at that level. So definitely research the math method. It's better to get into it as soon as possible, because if you're used to doing 5Ks in 22 minutes, it's very, very hard to bring yourself to run slow and to get the heart rate down. So it's a very good thing to start with if you're interested. And if you want to do more than running, say you want to do weightlifting or cycling or something else more than just running. So yeah, really, really like the math method. Highly recommend it. Let's go. Okay, so the next thing I want to cover is running accessories. Things that are going to make you a bit more comfortable and make the whole process a little bit easier for you. So number one is the Free Train running vest. Literally the best invention ever. You slide your phone into the top, like so, fits all phones, and then you clip it in place and you can run hands-free. If you have wireless headphones and an Apple Watch, you can control all your music from that. And yeah, I'm a little bit annoyed that I didn't think of such a genius invention. It's very comfy, you don't even notice you're wearing it, and there's a little space here where you can put your car keys, headphones. Very, very good product. Okay, next up, I recommend wearing a hat or a cap. In the winter, I always wear a hat to keep my ears warm, to keep my head warm, and in the summer, I always wear a cap to keep the sun out of my eyes and to stop it from beating down on me. I find that very important. I never ever run without a hat. Number three, calf sleeves. These are literally like compression socks. You literally just pull them up over your feet and they go around your calves. They keep everything tight and compressed, and it prevents injury. And when I had shin splints after running for 40 days in a row, I purchased these, and these have literally been a lifesaver. Whenever I can feel a little bit of tenderness around my shin splints, around my calves, I always put these on and wear them for a week or so, and they definitely help prevent injury. So highly recommend calf sleeves. By the way, I will link everything here down below in the description. Next up is a magic ball. This is a physio ball, but you can use a lacrosse ball, a cricket ball, any sort of hard hockey ball, anything that's hard, and you literally just roll your feet out after a run and before a run, and it feels incredible. Literally my number one recommendation. It feels insane. Following up from that, we have the foam roller, of course. It can be used before or after runs. Roll out just glutes, hamstrings, quads, calves, back. It'll just take a lot of tension out of the body if you run a lot, because it is quite high impact on all of your body and the joints. So very important to roll it all out. Question I get asked a lot is, should I take a bottle of water with me? For a 5K, it's not necessary. It's kind of inconvenient. It's very heavy, and just you don't really need it. As long as you drink enough water before you go out on your run and enough water when you come back, you should be fine. 5K isn't that big of a distance. Next up, probably the most important, is running trainers. So these are a pair that I recently bought, and as you can see, they're covered in mud already, even though they're brand new. That's because where me and Francis run here in the winter, it's very muddy, it's very slippy, it's icy, it's wet, there's puddles everywhere, and I was sick of ruining all my good trainers and getting my feet soaking wet. So these are waterproof and they have a lot of grip, which makes them perfect for running in winter conditions. So I'd highly recommend purchasing a pair of winter runners, and these are the Nike Pegasus Shields. I really like these for running in the winter. Next up, AirPod Pro. A good pair of headphones is very helpful. I do probably about 50% of my runs with headphones, 50% without headphones. Just I like to hear my surroundings every now and then, but the Apple AirPod Pros are very good. They're small, they're light, really good sound quality, and you don't even notice that you're wearing them. So highly recommend a good pair of headphones. Try and avoid over-ear headphones. It means you kind of don't know what's going on and it can make you feel a bit, what's the word? Disorientated.
Which can be bad around traffic.
Which can be bad when you're running on the road, etc. Next up is socks, boxers, sports bras, if you're a lady. It's very important to be comfortable when you're running. The last thing you want is a wedgie, or your boxers to be falling down, or your socks to be giving you blisters. Invest in good equipment and it'll make the whole experience a lot more enjoyable. These are my favorite Under Armour white socks. I'll link them obviously down below. And then for boxers, I got these on Amazon the other day. They are a little bit more expensive, David Archie, and they're just like a long trunk, and they're really nice. They look massive, but I promise they're not that big. Up next, this is another thing that I bought for those dark winter nights. It's just a little light that I can strap on myself like the vest, and it goes here, and then, hold on, let's see if we can get it on. Bingo, it's very bright. You charge it with a USB, and then on the back, it's got a little red light so people can see it from behind too, which is very good for when you run in the dark, especially because you can't see a thing if you haven't been eating your carrots. Okay, and the final thing is a smartwatch. I use the Apple Watch Series 4, I believe. Very good watch. I absolutely love mine. However, I do notice a few inconsistencies with it, and I'm looking to upgrade to one of the better Garmin watches. But for a beginner, for intermediate, Apple Watch is absolutely perfect. I love it. I use the app that's built into it to track all my runs and heart rate and all of that stuff. So it is very good, and you can connect it to Strava. So a smartwatch, it's not fully necessary because you can measure everything on your phone, but say you don't want to carry your phone with you, it's nice just to go out with a watch and that'll track all of your progress. So everything will be linked down below that I recommended, and make sure to use my links because I'll probably get a little bit of commission, probably only like £1 or something, but better than nothing. That's us done for now. We are well over the time limit that I had intended for this video. I'm gonna do a big Q&A later on in the week, so if you have any questions at all, or if I've missed anything off, comment down below, send me a message on Instagram, and I will answer that in the Q&A later on in the week. I'm gonna cover stuff like, does running burn muscle mass? All these good common misconceptions and questions, so definitely tune in for that. Finally, join my Vibe Run Club Facebook group. I'll leave the link for that down below. We have a good group of members, everyone's helping each other, everyone's at all different levels, and it's quite a nice community for whenever you're getting started and you want to get motivated and inspired, and of course ask any questions you want on that group too. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later in the week when I address all of your questions. See you soon.